Arbala? And she's like, yeah, I actually just read about it the other day. And I was like, subhanAllah, really? And so we were able to have this conversation, and she already had this knowledge and like just so open to the information. And then, you know, I took a women's studies class, and my professor and I kind of formed a relationship, and she asked me to come and talk to her class about hijab. So alhamdulillah, like I got to come in, and it was a group of women in a circle, and it was, you know, what is hijab? And so I got to hear a lot of the common misconceptions, like Muslim women are weak and they're submissive by nature and they don't have a choice. And it was really nice to sit there and be like, yeah, okay, I get it. Like I had the exact same point of views, but here's what it actually is about. So, you know, doing these types of events and participating in discussions, I think really opens the door for people to ask us questions. And I think our communities are doing a good job in being open. You know, we're not closed and saying, no, don't ask us questions ever. Like we're open to saying, okay, yeah, you have a question about hijab? Sure, ask me. If you have a question about why we fast? Sure, ask me. We're having this event. Why don't you come on by and kind of see like what we're about? So we're doing a good job in that respect, yes. Interfaith discussions are really crucial at this point in time because I feel like we're being pitted against each other when we have the same end goal. So I think if we open up these conversations and these dialogues between faiths, we can see how we all have the same objective in life, and it would create a more peaceful environment for us to coexist with each other. And I don't really know if we're doing a good job or a bad job. Like, you know, it's hard to say, because I think when we extend the offer to our Christian brothers and sisters or our Jewish brothers and sisters or any other denomination to say this is what Islam's about, I think there is a level of respect. And so people will come and they'll listen. But it's hard to really say what kind of impact you've had on them or if they really understand, because some people are embarrassed to ask questions, right? They just want to be there and be like, okay, yeah, like let's have this discussion. But it's good to like have non-emotional discussions about it, because then you can learn from each other and inshallah, like, you know, unite and move forward instead of being opposing forces and creating, you know, animosity between these different faiths. And this is not just like for me also, I think this needs to also extend within the Muslim community. It's important to have these conversations with like our Sunni brothers and sisters, right? Because as Muslims, we need to unite as well. Because if we have, you know, so much disharmony in our ummah, like in our community, like how can we actually expect to change the world, expect to spread Islam in a positive way? My advice for individuals who are either reverting to Islam or thinking about reverting to Islam is to take it slow. Islam is such a big religion and it's got such a wealth of information, and it's so easy to get overwhelmed or put pressure on yourself to be this perfect Muslim right away. But it's a spiritual journey, and so I think being patient with yourself and allowing yourself to really, you know, seek out the information, learn it and digest it, and then decide how you're going to implement it into your life. But it's okay to take it one step at a time. It's okay to learn it one step at a time. And like, inshallah, like you'll have lots of time on earth to kind of develop your knowledge. But I think it's such a common thing to, like I know for myself, like you learn all this information and you overwhelm yourself with it and you want to be this perfect Muslim, so you do everything you possibly can and you burn out. And you have this opposite like effect where you're like, I don't want to do anything anymore. And that's kind of the road that you want to avoid going down. So, you know, taking like the basic things like salat, just start with prayer. Don't worry about doing any of the extra things, but just start with the foundations. And if you can get like your foundations rooted, then the other things come a little bit easier. It's easier to implement things because it truly is like a lifestyle change. You know, Islam is a way of life. It's not a passive religion where you just do it once a week or on special holidays. Like, you live it, you breathe it, it is your life, it's part of your core. So, you know, take it easy and don't be embarrassed to ask questions. Questions are the best way to learn. So, you know, there's no shame in asking questions, no matter how dumb you think they are. Like, I have been so fortunate to have people surround me that have been like, that's not a dumb question, like, that's a great question, like, this is what it is, and provide me with the information that I need to kind of further my knowledge. But it's okay to ask questions, there's no shame in it. And also to find a support system, especially for reverts who come from Canadian families or families who don't have religious backgrounds or Christianity as their background, because you're going to need a very strong support system, because it is a difficult journey and it takes a lot of strength to kind of get through each single day, and, you know, take one day at a time as well, but it does take a lot. And so to have, you know, people on the outside, whether it's at your mosque or friends at school who are Muslim as well, you need to have a really strong support. So aside from taking it one step at a time, go make friends. You know, go find your Muslim friends who can guide you and direct you towards, you know, this is how you can find literature that is, you know, authenticated, and it is something that is true. Like, instead of, there's so much information on the internet that's not right, you know. So having that support helps keep you strong in your iman. It helps you on the days when you just don't know if you can do this anymore. And it helps keeps reminding you, like, you know, why am I here? Why did I revert? Why did I revert in the first place? Because it's difficult. I'm not going to say it's not. It's difficult, but it's so worth it. You know, it's been such a challenging time for me over these last few years, but alhamdulillah, like, I can't say that I regret any of the things, because this has brought me so close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it's made me, like, I'm the type of person who needs to be, like, shoved into something because I get comfortable, and that's what happened. And I was like, alhamdulillah, I was shoved into it, and it was just it's beautiful. Like, I'm so grateful for it, because it's changed my life in ways that I can't put into words. I can only say that I know when I fast and when I do salah, when I make dua, when I put on my hijab, like, all these things bring me so much peace that the difficulty and the pain is kind of like an afterthought. You know, you think, yeah, it hurts and it's difficult with my family and my friends and my lifestyle, and I don't have support all the time, but I have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I have Islam, which is such a beautiful religion, and it's worth it, you know. It's hard, but it's worth it, and just keep on going. Just, even on the days you don't think you can, just get into prayer. Like, there's a saying by Imam Ali alayhi salam, is, when the world knocks you down on your knees, you're in the perfect position to pray. And I love that, because as a revert, it can be very difficult to continue going on, especially when you're alone and you're aware of everything that's going on in the world. Because once you revert and you see life in the world as it is, you kind of realize you realize that we live in such a difficult world, and we live in such a difficult time, and it hurts. It's a very saddening thing, and so all you have is prayer. And so you just have to take it slowly, and inshallah, you know, get through it.